Music matters. Kazuo, how are you, my friend?
Music does matter. Music lives matter. I'm chilling.
Let's go.
I'm happy. I'm still alive.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they tried to kill me last night, but
Yeah?
we out here.
They almost got you?
Yeah, they almost got me.
What was the means of attack?
Tax evasion.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. They'll do it for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Like my guy Luigi, though. They'll take him out, you know?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, yo.
Luigi, you know, like I think they're trying to use Luigi as a symbol for the Italian American community.
Yeah.
They're trying to hate on us, you know?
Yeah, I think like the Italian American community, specifically the ones in Brooklyn, you know, they need a new hero because, you know, Christopher Columbus's like image is not looking too good. You know, the whole genocide thing, it's not a good look. You feel me?
Nah, definitely
so
not.
with Luigi, at least he killed one person. You feel me?
And like
Versus like a whole tribe.
Yeah, Luigi's rebranding us.
Yeah, word. I feel like he should have went after like whoever's the CEO of like Experian or whatever.
Yeah, or like Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
Or like BlackRock.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a little bit of Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Elon Musk.
Not saying what was his name, Brian Thompson, whatever. He definitely deserved that shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like when it comes to the list of people who deserve it the most, he's like at least ranked 15.
I will say though, I think he had to be like he had to be significantly easier to kill than most like other billionaires.
Yeah, bro. He was just out, you know. He didn't even have an entourage, you feel me?
No.
Rappers with like 50K followers, they got like 20 people with them.
Yeah.
How many IG followers does Brian Thompson got? Probably like 428 with a private account.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
He's not even verified, dude.
Yeah, bro. That was his fault. Like, you can't just have like multi-billion or whatever, like be responsible for so many deaths per year and just walk around dolly like shit's good.
Yeah.
This is New York.
Yeah. It's also crazy as fuck to make that much money and invest none of it in your security.
Yeah.
Like literally none of it.
Literally none.
Like he was just raw dogging life, bro.
He probably like put all that in his house. What's the security shit for the house?
Housing insurance?
I forgot. It was started with an A or whatever. He probably put like $200
Oh,
into
Amber or no, fucking I know what you're talking about.
I was about to say Advil, but it's not that. But like he probably put like put 200 for like a Ring camera.
Yeah, bro. I think Elon Musk would be really hard to kill. I feel like him and like all like the boring name brand billionaires that we all know. I feel like those guys are such public figures. They gotta be like putting so much money into their security and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Also, Elon Musk is so fucking weird. I feel like he probably just like keeps a gun on him always.
He keeps his child on him.
Yeah, dude. You know what's weird to me about him though? He has like 11 kids, but he reps like one of them.
Yeah.
Like why did he just pick one, name him after like a number?
Yeah,
and then he was like, "This is my guy."
Yeah, he probably knows like my dad. My dad does the same shit.
No way.
Yeah, he reps my sister.
That's but he's like not in your life.
No.
But he just reps like one of his kids.
No, he's like after my sister was born, he was just like, oh shit, I'm a dad now.
What? It's like men doing mushrooms and developing empathy. They're like, it's like, yo, this one.
Wait, that's a whole other fucking life.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 10-year-old me is like on the other corner, like, hey dad.
Yeah.
What's up?
Damn, dude. Damn, that got so crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to like reach out, contact him?
No.
Yeah.
No, he has, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a complicated
I'm
thing.
chilling. I'm a grown ass man.
I feel it. What's new in your life, brother? What have you been up to?
Music, you know, killing my social life. I never really had one out here.
Nice.
In LA. Like I got a few friends. Shout out Seiji. I like Seiji. I was at some function last night in K-Town. You know, that was nice. That was fun.
How long you been out here now? Because we met
in March.
Like literally right after you moved, right?
Yeah. Probably like week 1 or week 2.
Yeah.
Because we met through Tim at Make Out Music. Yeah, like, I don't know, March, I guess.
Does it feel normal yet?
It does.
So that's what, March, April, May, June, like 5 months, 6 months?
Like 10.
Oh,
10 maybe.
Math guy.
No, wait, I'm not good at math. I haven't had my second year.
Yeah. Crack it, bro.
Shouts out to Blue Foria. I'm more of a Revelberry and enlightenment guy?
I'm a mint guy 95% of the time because I'm usually drinking yerbs like past 3 p.m. But if I'm drinking like a morning or an afternoon yerb, I gotta go with like the low sugar one.
Oh yeah, word.
Because I feel like I crash.
Yeah, nah. I think it was Tropical Uprising.
Yeah.
That took me a while to get used to.
Same.
Not gonna lie.
Same with this one. This is the peach one.
Yeah.
But like I've really grown accustomed to it for sure.
I'm so used to the more caloried one.
Yeah. Are you a coffee drinker?
No, not at all.
No, just these?
Yeah, just these. Yeah, I have like the taste buds of a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I have a friend like that. He orders like shout out my friend Rich. That guy eats chicken fucking tenders and Chipotle like 4 to 5 meals a week.
Like Kraft mac and cheese.
Yes, bro. But like the thing is, like, I love all that shit as well. But like, not just that. You know, there's more to life.
my man's like just got like his first meal at like an elementary school, and he was just like, "This is it. I don't need to explore anything. What the fuck is sushi?
This wraps. Like, give me just this. All I need.
I'll take like maybe a California roll.
Yeah,
none of this dragon roll, Philly roll bullshit.
Can I get like the vegetable tempura, please? Like,
yeah, just the cucumber.
Yeah. Did your this just unlocked a memory? Did your elementary school with the lunch program have those French fries that were like big smiley faces?
Oh yeah.
You ever had those?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because like I went to elementary school, like most of it was in Japan, but like from kindergarten till 3rd grade I went to an American school
in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan. And they just like had that shit.
Yeah. Wait, so they would like almost like cosplay like being like they were in America?
No,
like
literally,
have, like,
because it was also in like a military base.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was the way it was inside. It looked like an American suburb.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so like a lot of
they were like replicating that.
Yeah, and the townhomes also had like a regular like American like TV networks and shit like that.
Interesting.
So yeah, you could like literally probably like watch Friends or whatever.
Is it? Well, was it like it wasn't like comparable to like Japantown in San Francisco or like a Chinatown?
No, you can't just like walk in there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it was like its own.
You had to like be like affiliated with the military or something, like work on the base or whatever.
Yeah,
to get access. Yeah, you can just walk in there.
So was that part of the because it like I believe if I'm not mistaken, the trajectory for you, it was like New York, Japan, New York, LA, right? Or
yeah, it was like New York, Japan, New York, Japan, LA, Japan, LA.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a lot of back and forth.
Were you moving around because were your parents involved with the military?
It started because of that, and then and then it became something else.
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
Later on, like a lot of my parents, well, specifically my mom, was like very questionable decisions and all that. But yeah,
but
a lot of family shit.
Gotcha. So when you were going to school out there in Japan, like living on that military base and stuff, was that at a point in your life where you're making music? When did that, like, which place were you living in when that kind of came into the picture first?
So like I was always messing around with like, because I started like with rap, you know. I would always like just like kind of freestyle for fun, you feel me, as like probably every kid did growing up. And I think I was mainly just into basketball and all that. I was tall for my age, and yeah, I think my passion was like, getting into AAU, maybe getting into a D1 league and all that. But then I got hurt like during middle school, and I was just like, I can't. They were telling me I couldn't even play basketball. I also got like appendix surgery too, so I wasn't allowed to do like sports in general. So
what was the injury that you got?
Just something fucked up with my like ankle.
Gotcha.
If I remember, like it was like hurting for me to run, even to like shoot was like it was a pain. So having to be recovering and shit like that, I was bored. So and I always it was just out of curiosity. I don't have like some crazy triumphant inspirational story of how I got into music. It was literally just out of curiosity. Yeah. You feel me?
Like you had an interest and you just pursued it.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, how are these songs made? I listen to music, it's around me, so I might as well see like how it's made and all that. And I had a few homies who had access to a studio that would cook up in the studio a lot, and then I just one day just like sat in and I was just like, oh shit, this is really interesting. Yeah. Very boring process, but interesting.
Was that around like high school time?
It was like high school time, yeah. And I still did not want to do music, but like for fun, I think I think my grandmother, she bought me like my first ever mic. It was like a cheap $60 condenser mic.
Nice.
Like I think the Audio Technica, whatever shits.
Yeah.
And then
like AT2020 or something.
I think it's that right there. Yeah. And then I think my mom bought me like a used interface, and then from there I would just like record freestyles or whatever, you know, just when I'm bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still didn't like making music.
Yeah.
It was just a thing because then I started moving around a lot during high school, and you know I had no friends, so what I do, you know, besides jerk off, you feel me? At some point I can't, so I might as well record.
That maxes like a couple times a day, you know?
Yeah, you know, because there's that one kid that died doing it like 48 times, so I knew 47 was the limit for me. So yeah, just doing that, you know, jacking off 47 times in an afternoon, and then recording like maybe 2 songs.
Yeah,
that was like my cycle.
Out of which those, between those two things, which one do you think is more productive?
Definitely not productive for like semen retention, but you know, I'm 15 years old. Fuck, I care about, you know, becoming a dad. So yeah, the bars.
Let's go. Yeah, that's what's up.
It's fucking stupid.
A lot of people like I feel like it low key can be an underrated like not that it's the worst thing in the world, but like when you're a kid and your entire, because this happened to me, when your entire identity is like a sport, and then you get hurt, or you just have that like very, very honest realization, like, yeah, I'm not going to go to the league. Yeah. Like, it can be kind of shocking to the system. It can be kind of like a strange identity change. It was for me, certainly.
Yeah, that was probably, I think I know people like that who dedicate their just whole life to, like, I think there was somebody I knew who was into, like, ice skating.
Yeah.
Like, since they were, like, 4 years old, you feel me? Since they first got on ice, and then, you know, this person knew people who went into, like, the Olympics and everything, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, when it came to the realization that she didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
you know, she had to really just figure shit out at like 19 years old or whatever. Yeah, that's
like just fully starting over.
Yeah, that's probably depressing for like some people.
Yeah, dude. What's so interesting and so different between that and music is like, I think about this a lot. It's really cool to me that like in music or in art, no one can ever, like, there's never a ceiling to where you have to stop. Like for example, like if you want to be in the NBA, like at some point, if you're not in the NBA, you're just never going to get there.
Yeah, word.
Whereas like music's not like that.
Like if you're not drafted, I mean, of course, like there's the other leagues outside
G
of the NBA
or whatever. Yeah,
all of that. B League in Japan. You feel me?
Yeah.
But you know, if you just don't get drafted by any team, like it is cooked for you.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like the professor and just become a basketball influencer. Or some shit, right? Yeah. Yeah, or just hope that you get on Barstool and talk about it.
Coach or like,
literally, you know, get fat and just become a high school coach.
Yeah. But that's what's so crazy about art. It's like you can just quite literally try forever.
Yeah.
And the question doesn't become like how, it becomes when.
Yeah, you literally, you can be like 14 years old and just blow up 2 weeks later, or you can be, you know, 35 and then starting to get your big break, which is crazy.
Yeah.
This is why I tell people like who are trying to get more into the sports world, you feel me? You know, diversify like what you want to do and half-ass everything, so it's not so disappointing when you fail. Yeah. That's not good advice, but you know, it's advice.
I actually think it's well, I actually feel like it's kind of an underrated thing. I was having a conversation about this recently where I was saying, like, I was thinking about this a lot. I was like, how much of success is determined by just what you happen to stumble into, and if that is or is not something you're gifted at. Does that make sense?
No.
Like for example, right?
No.
If my natural like ability of like playing the cello is like a 7, but I never find it. But my natural ability at basketball is like a 3, and like for whatever reason, like I stumble into really wanting to do that for the rest of my life, and I put like, you know, I put my 10,000 hours in, and I started at 3, and I become like a 7, but I cap at a 7. How like imagine if I started with the cello, where I already started at a 7, and my cap's like a 10. Like I often wonder, like, are people just choosing the wrong fields?
Yeah, like, I feel that because I think because I stopped basketball at like middle school.
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot. I feel like if I kept at it for like maybe a year, I would have been 6'4".
Yeah.
So I kind of fucked myself over with that because like now I'm at the height where most guys lie at.
Yeah.
But I'm actually like really 6 foot.
Yeah.
So like, I have like homies who are like 5'10", tell me they're 6. I'm like, no, bro.
No, you're not, dude.
I am the point of reference.
I feel like it's rare that there's a true 6 foot.
Yeah, there's a true 6 foot, not 5'11",
5'11" and a half, 6'1".
None of that. Yeah.
Just a 6.
Do not round up to my height, bro.
Nah, dude. Yeah, you're the benchmark. Do you remember at what point in that whole trajectory when you kind of took a step back and you're like, yeah, like I think music's the thing for me. I think it's like what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, after I graduated high school,
Gotcha.
I was like thinking, because I didn't just jump right into college after high school. I just hated school in general. I barely passed high school, and I just got a regular ass job. I was a moving worker.
And you were in New York at the time?
Yeah, but the job was in Jersey, and I just remember I'm the youngest one in my whole job. Everybody, and by like a wide margin or whatever you want to call it, I'm like 18, 19, and the person who's closest to my age is like a 35-year-old. So someone who's like damn near twice my age, you feel me? And I think I was like on IG or whatever, and I'm just seeing like all my friends, all my classmates, or just people I know who are in my age group just living life.
Yeah.
And, you know, being who they want to be and all that, living out their dreams. And I was just like, yo, I don't want to be a moving worker, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the same position getting paid the same amount as a 35-year-old, even though it was good money, you feel me? Like, I was able to make rent and all that, but, like, yeah, I was just like, this isn't what I want to do. I'm definitely going to want to, you know, I'm probably going to go into a deep depression at 23.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when I, like, quit everything, and I was just like, yo, what am I kind of good at that's not basketball, you feel me? I think I'm too late for basketball.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have my stats or anything, you know, I'm not going to get scouted. So, you know, I think music was one of those things where, because I went through so many phases growing up.
Yeah.
And I always, like, would quit them. You know, I get tired of it. Music was the thing where I felt like I wanted to get better at it each time. So, like, when I started out with rap, I always wanted to be, like, just up my skills with each track. Yeah. And then, so I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Let me give it, like, a trial run. Let me give it, like, a year. Yeah. See, like, if I like it or not, if this is what I want to do. Like 2 months in, I was like, yo, this is my thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I think it gets really scary when you kind of like, when you have that realization at those jobs in the early days where you're like, I remember having a similar realization when I was serving tables at 18, where I looked around and I was like, everybody around me, like, they're either in school, so like this is very temporary for them, or I've never heard them talk about anything that's not work related. Yeah. That's a scary fucking realization, because there gets a point when you're making good, dude, like I think of this all the time. When I was serving tables, bro, I was making fucking good money. Yeah. Like better money than I've ever made. And like, don't get me wrong, working music is the biggest blessing imaginable. I'm so lucky that I get to do this every single day, but like, goddamn, bro, like I get why people just serve tables forever.
Because it's just some people prioritize stability, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, not having to worry about being one paycheck away, one missed paycheck away from like homelessness, you feel me? Yeah. But then some people like, I guess it is a pride and ego thing. Like, yo, I don't want to do something I'm not having fun with doing. Like, you know, I might as well grind it out. Yeah, I'm going to take a huge fucking pay cut, or maybe just not get paid at all for a long time, but it might be worth the risk. You know? Yeah. And just figuring it out. It's terrifying. 100%. But I do think it's worth the risk. I really do. I actually think it's like one of the most like logical trade-offs ever. Yeah. You just got to be smart with it, because not everybody can do it. You know, some people got talent, some people got it, but then there's a lot of more things you have to have than just skill, you feel me?
Interesting. Do you think that not everybody can do it?
Not everybody can do it, and I wish that wasn't the reality. I wish we lived in a reality where, you know, anybody who wants to be creative, you know, can pursue whatever they want without the burdens of capitalism, but that's not what we live in. You know?
Definitely by that standard, I think. I do, though, think there is a level of like tangible creativity in so many people that they just are like not going to harness. Like they're almost like not taking the steps to like bring that to the to light.
Yeah,
you know,
and you probably met so many people like this who are just like afraid to start something, being creative. Like maybe they've been so used to like a 9-to-5 type of routine, so getting into like the creative world, whether it's like videos or literally making art, painting, music or whatever, they don't know where to start, or if they don't have like the confidence to do it.
Dude, what I always say is, I like my word of advice always to those people is like, just start. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, I know that sounds so fucking simple, but like, just do it. Like, just like don't, it doesn't matter if you're gonna do it or not, just fucking like sit down and be like, I'm gonna try to do this thing. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's great, it's great. Whatever, go on YouTube, just figure it out, bro. Like
9 times out of 10 it's gonna suck anyway. That first step is usually the hardest, but that's a step, you know what I mean? What
was the first thing in the first moment where you kind of felt like this was going to be something you could do? Like, once you kind of quit that job and you were like, I'm gonna give it this year. What was the first moment where you're like, all right, like this is working a little bit, like I can do something here?
When I started out, I did like open mics around like New York and everything, and when I felt like there was a performer that like really sucked, like, I'm better than this guy. That's when I was like, yo, wait, I actually think I'm better than this guy. Because a lot of self-doubt, was hitting me, because it was like really my first time putting myself out there. There were times I would post like freestyles onto my like YouTube channel, but I would never tell anybody about it. That was just like for me to go back to or just listen to, because I like hearing my voice in the morning. So, and I think also like going to these open mics and like getting complimented like for what I was making, even if I thought those were like shit posts. Just the fact that I'm performing to a crowd and getting praise or whatever. Getting a reaction too with that, my ego being fed, I think really helped. I was like, yo, wait, I can probably do this, because I feel like I'm still at mid level. Like, I feel like I'm mid right now, but people fuck with this. Imagine when I get good.
It's always so weird to like realize the change or the difference in perspective between how you're viewing yourself and somebody else is viewing you. That I think that also can be said like on the flip side, right? Where like you can think you're doing something and you could think it fucking sucks. But then like people could be like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's all the time. Because I think, what was it, Rick Rubin or somebody said some shit like, artists think this is their hit, but really, that's what the executive producer is for. Sometimes they'll know what the hit is, because the artist has a different type of relationship with the music than the fans do. And even to some extent, like the executive producer is supposed to have like the fans' perspective. It's supposed to represent what the fans want. So there are times like even fucking now where I think like, oh, this song is worth pushing. But then in reality, like I'll go to my other friends and I'll play them some shit. They'll be like, oh no, wait, this one's better. This one won't scare anybody.
This one won't scare anybody. He's crazy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just like the songs I usually pick are the ones that scare people.
Dude, I was just having a conversation about this recently. I think that's where you should be.
Literally, I think the most genre defying, the most like innovative songs are the ones that have to scare people.
I mean, I think just in general, like scare people, but also like the shit that you're scared to put out, that probably means something. Like if you make something and you have a little feeling in your chest where you're like, I've never heard anything like this before, that's generally a really good sign that you're doing the right thing.
And I like a lot of basic shit. I like a lot of basic pop hits and all that, but sometimes I feel like some songs are a little too safe, or just some artists are known for making the safest songs, and I usually don't like those artists. To begin with, I'm like, yo, you can kind of risk it a bit, you don't gotta maintain some type of image.
I even think that's true on just like a life level as well, where it's like, I don't know, I feel like when you're pursuing something, you need to always be in a place where you're afraid to take the next step, because that means that like you're pushing yourself. I think if you're not afraid, you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. You got to jump off the cliff at some point. You know?
And I hate that, because that's when you get like comfortable. And that's like one of my life mottos, is to never get comfortable anywhere. That's why I even moved out of New York, because it was like the pandemic, lockdown and everything, and I would hang out with my friends, you feel me, and I just like went through a whole existential crisis, because probably everybody did, where we're all going through like the same shit. The world's going through like whatever it's fucking going through, and you know this shit has never happened to like most of us, you feel me?
Yeah.
But funny how like the world just like stopped like that. So I was thinking like, damn, life's really like short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just dropped out of college, man, and the world does this to me. That's crazy. And then I was going to like just places in New York, and I wasn't even thinking when I would go to them. Like I linked with my friends, like let's just say in Flushing, Queens or whatever. I'm like, okay, I know how to get there from where I live. You know, without looking it up. I was like, wait, am I getting a little too comfortable here?
Yeah.
You know, this New York is like the biggest city. Why am I not getting lost?
Interesting.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So then I thought to myself, like, yo, I need to go somewhere where I'm not familiar with anything. I barely know anybody out there. So I just chose LA. I like bought like several round trip tickets, because, you know, flights were dumb cheap.
Dude, yeah, they were crazy.
They were dumb cheap.
I remember.
I remember you could fly to LA from New York
like $100.
$100 bucks, $140.
Yeah.
So I would just do hella round trips and shit, and yeah, I ended up falling in love with it, like just LA.
What'd you like about it?
It was just so different from New York. You feel me?
It's very different.
You had a like a mix of like still city, but then mountains. I think the mountains got me.
Yeah.
There's no mountains in New York.
Yeah.
You gotta like drive 40 minutes north or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do think like your surrounding plays a gigantic role in the way that you're looking at your day to day. I actually think about this a lot. I think like, I always think about like some of my favorite musicians. I'm like, they would sound entirely different if they were from different places.
Yeah.
Like I always think about like, if Kendrick wasn't from, imagine if Kendrick was from New York.
I can't even imagine.
Like, yeah, his music
it's just like the West
different.
Coast, just LA, Compton is just so integral to his like identity.
Yeah.
I don't even think he'd be that appealing if he was like from New York.
That's what I mean.
Like
yeah.
he'd just be like, and I'm from New York, he'd just be a really good New York rapper.
Yeah.
unless like you replace Compton with like Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, still I just feel like what I liked about him growing up in the East Coast was the fact that he was this Compton dude, and I didn't know shit about the West Coast.
Yeah.
So I would learn like through him, of course, like through Dr. Dre, Too Short, like all those West Coast guys. Yeah.
That's sick, bro. That's super cool. When you were out there, what was kind of the first thing? Like the first thing that kind of worked, like after, you know, like you said, once you quit your job, you're like, I'm gonna give this a year, I'm gonna figure it out. What was the first sign, like that you could do this outside of like the mic stuff? Like, what was the first like tangible thing where you're like, oh, this song did well, or like, what was the first kind of breakthrough moment?
I think it was when like labels started reaching out to me. I was like, oh yeah, I'm that nice, cool, nice. But also when I finally found like the style, I was like, that helped me stand out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's when I started like mixing the Japanese and the English lyrics and all that, because my whole thing was in the New York scene, like there's so many dope artists, you feel me? Everybody's like hungry for everything, for just like fame or just sustainability and all that. You know, everybody wants to either get signed or just make enough for a living. Yeah. And all that. But everybody also had their own style. You feel me? Like I had friends who were really into like 90s boom bap style. Yeah. You know, and then there were people who were more into like the trap style and the more alternative, avant-garde shit. But then I was like, okay, I like all of these. Yeah. But my production style is like, I was still figuring that out, but I was like, lyrically, I gotta like be on some other level shit. Yeah. So then that's when I integrated both Japanese and English into my shit. So, because I came from a really rapidy rap scene, like I would do street ciphers and shit in Union Square, and yeah, I think just doing that, it also prompted me to be like, yo, I don't really have to say anything. I'm in New York. I don't have to say anything like profound in Japanese. It's just the fact that I do it and I look Dominican as hell, you know, that would help. That would just help. Yeah. I do think like combining the languages like that, it gives you a very, very instantaneous leg of difference. Yeah. Like you just sound different on account of the fact that you're rapping in multiple languages. Yeah. And hip hop is so interesting in that way, bro. And I think about this all the time because it's one of the only genres where like what you're saying sometimes doesn't matter, but how you say it can matter more. Yeah, that's what the cadence and everything. Yeah. That's why I tell people like I don't like teaching people how to rap. I feel like that's something you gotta learn yourself. But in terms of like what's important when it comes to rap, I feel like your flow and cadence and all that, how you sound on the mic, how you're like flowing to like the rhythm, the beat or whatever, is more important than what you're saying.
I totally can agree, bro.
So I feel like you having good lyrics is just a bonus for having a good flow, because nobody's gonna nobody's gonna care what you say if you don't sound good.
Yeah, dude. And interestingly enough, though, there's like I think I say this a lot, but there's a lot of rappers who like they're incredible rappers, but they can't make good songs. Or there's a lot of rappers who like make really good songs, but they're not very good rappers.
Yeah, like battle rappers.
Battle
rappers. I mean, that shit's starting to change. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're like a really good battle rapper, you're just you put all your hours into that. That's gonna translate different when you throw that shit in the studio. It's not gonna sound good. It's gonna sound like slam poetry. Over like a cheap ass beat.
It's almost like a different art form, and that's what's so cool about hip hop to me, bro. Is that like it didn't even really start as a musical thing. It was just eventually translated into music. It was a movement.
It was so counterculture that from what I heard, like there were people who were against like rap being recorded.
Yeah, dude.
And distributed.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite literally just MCs speaking rhythmically over things that DJs were spinning in the streets at New York block parties.
It was literally like performance art.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly
crazy.
What
I'm so glad it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, I think the only class, like genuinely the only one that I took in college that I think stuck with me was a history of hip hop class, because my teacher, this guy was so cool, bro. He was just like God, how do I even describe? I don't remember his name. Or it was Terrence. It was Professor Terrence. I don't know. It was like full name.
I don't like the name Terrence.
You don't?
No, there's this guy I know.
That's like a smart name.
There's a guy I know. He was like on some pedo shit. His name is Terrence.
Oh no, not this guy.
You,
though.
Terrence.
Fuck that Terrence.
Fuck that Terrence. Should I drop his IG?
Probably not.
See what? No.
Probably not, but like fuck him though.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. You're like, should I like send a shot right now?
Yeah,
like,
bro. Yeah. Would I get a lawsuit for that? I got screenshots to prove he is.
You're like, should we go like full no jumper right now and just start like
Yeah.
Oh no, but
I know where you live, Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence. You know what? Fuck that name. I hate that name too.
I hate that fucking name. Should I drop the last name too? It rhymes with measure.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this professor was like this 60-year-old dude, and I if I remember correctly, either he was from I think he was either from the South when like Southern hip hop really became like had like I think he was like in his 30s when Outkast came out, and he was like around them, or like I think he did that, but I think before he was, I don't really remember his whole story to be honest, but this guy just loved rap music more than like anybody I'd ever met, and I think it was the only class I took throughout all of college that really stuck with me, and it was really cool because he like went incredibly he went way deeper than the curriculum than he had to. Like this guy talked about like this guy was a hip hop historian. Like he was
a fucking nerd.
Yeah, such a nerd. He was so sick.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I love nerds though.
Yeah. They're cool, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I choose to be ignorant towards hip hop. No. Nah, I love hip hop, but yeah, cute.
No, yeah, but yeah, I guess all that to say that like I think you can be a great rapper and a terrible song maker, and a great song maker and a terrible rapper.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a time and place for actual like good songwriting.
Yeah.
As shitty as it is to say, like I'm not trying to hear like some lyrical shit, some deep, profound shit all the time. You feel me? Sometimes I want to throw ass.
Tight shit. It just, I was interested to ask you this: hip hop, like being such an American thing, like being such a New York born thing, right? Very specifically from New York. In Japan, what is like the big differences between like how rap is perceived there and how rap is perceived here? I was like very curious to talk about that, but then also like I guess I'll ask you that next. So I guess you can just start with that. But yeah, like I'm very fascinated by like how different hip hop would be perceived there, because to me hip hop is so New York, it's so American, it's so like born in this country, and I'm
so black, and all that. So this is that question. That's a really good question, by the way.
Thank you.
But like when people do like ask me like some variation of that question, it's usually I either go on a crazy tangent, and then get killed by Japanese hip hop Twitter, so all like 2,000 of them, and
the whole army of like my neighborhood, you know, like
Yeah. So to get into that, it's just I think more so the reason I have these opinions is because I'm Japanese, of course, but I look at New York I look at hip hop from a New York lens. You feel me? Because if you look at it, I'll say this: when it comes to like music in general, usually there's always a Japanese subgenre to every genre.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Think, Japanese jazz, Japanese pop, Japanese rock.
Yeah.
You feel me? But there's still no rap subgenre. Not yet. Because I think Japanese rap has like no identity right now. At least.
That's fascinating.
Like, of course, there are some really cool Japanese artists. Like, I think Creepy Nuts is fucking amazing. They're the ones who did the Dun 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 intro. Like, fucking Udstedt, that's the rapper from Creepy Nuts. Like, he's dope. I've shared the stage with him a few times.
Nice.
Like, you could tell he's just a rap nerd off rip. So, not saying, like, everyone's just unoriginal, but you gotta look at it like, this is Asia, and this is a black art form. So, hip-hop culture is imported from whatever's hot in New York, whatever's hot in Atlanta, whatever's hot in LA, in the Bay. You feel me? Japan has yet to create a new sound for the genre.
Interesting, because I almost draw comparisons to like Europe, but like there is very specifically like there are European subgenres of hip hop that like were born out of London. And
like London, there's grime.
Exactly. Like UK drill,
which is funny because New York is just a variation of UK drill anyway. So Japan, as of me speaking on this right now, December 2024, there has yet to be a sound yet, and I feel like there's enough elements that the Japanese has provided to the music where you could make a whole rap subgenre. So with that being said,
well, what would you think those? Just not to cut you off, but what would you think those would be?
I think just more like embracing the more like digicore aspects. Like, of course, there's also Okinawan artists like who will sample old Okinawan music and like put a modern twist to it, or just like throw just rap over like Okinawan like instruments. You feel me? I feel like that's a way of pushing it forward, but that's like a very niche thing, because that's me being from Yokohama. That would sound weird of me sampling Okinawan music, because that's not my heritage. So
interesting.
So a lot of times, like, the perception of like hip hop out there is whatever's hot,
in America.
Hot in America.
Gotcha.
You feel me? So like when I was operating in the scene there, it was all about, drill was starting to pop out. Like it was already all over New York, but it was starting to get really popular in like Tokyo and shit. So you saw all the rappers who were just doing trap, like SoundCloud style, Ronnie J trap, shift into like sounding like Pop Smoke.
Interesting. But like a Tokyo Pop Smoke?
Yeah, like literally they were copying his cadence and everything. You heard fucking Dior in the clubs, like by every fucking DJ and shit like that. But you never heard Ye. You never heard Tyler, the Creator, because they were more alternative, which is crazy to think like Ye. Of course, Ye would push the genre each album he released, but it was a little too avant-garde.
Interesting. So it was just like emblematic of whatever was blowing up in America.
Literally they would just take the sound that was from out there and just switch the language.
I've never like considered that in the context of like the fact that there are like so many genres that have just like developed Japanese counterparts. Like you say, like J-rock or J-pop or J, like whatever, like, people say
so
all the
different
time.
And it's so different, like even like the music, like the scales and everything, just the way like they hit melodies and shit, it's just so different. But
or Korean, like there's so many Korean subgenres as well,
like K-pop and all that. Like, and I think when it comes to like Asia, I think like the Koreans just do it better in East Asia. They're killing it right now.
Is there like a lot of Korean hip hop?
There is.
I'm not aware of that either.
Yeah, there is a lot of Korean hip hop. There's like the underground sounding stuff, and then there's the more commercial sounding shit. And both do really well. Versus like Japan, where it's a little more niche, it's a little more domesticated.
I'm trying to think like in the same way that there aren't like New York or like hip hop in general being such a like Black American New York movement, like, and that never going to Japan. I'm trying to think if there's any genres that were like very Japanese born or very Japanese influenced that like came to the States in that way.
Yeah.
But I guess like I don't really, I'm not cultured enough or versed enough to even tell you like a lot of genres of music that were like very strictly Japanese that were born in that world.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining. So there's this like there's this one genre called enka.
Enka?
In Japan. It's like a very kind of old, it's oldish, it like peaked in the, I think like the 70s or whatever, and I'm just trying to like, it's like Japanese soul music.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? It has like, you know, strings and everything. It still has like traditional Japanese elements, and like I couldn't even imagine like any US artist doing that. You should search it up later. It's like so.
I'm gonna write it down. It's called Enka?
Enka.
A-N-K-A?
E-N-K-A.
E-N-K-A. Okay, I'm gonna look up later.
Yeah, it's like a mix of like traditional and like pop, soul at the same time. And there was a time I remember growing up, because this is probably every Blasian Blackanese kid's nightmare from Japan, like growing up, was in like the mid to late 2000s. There was this guy, his name was Jetto, and he was this quarter Japanese black dude. I think he was like from California. He went and did like a hip hop twist to enka, and he blew the fuck up in Japan. So any kid growing up in Japan who was remotely black was called Jetto.
Oh, that's...
And that nigga did not look like me.
Strange, yeah. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. So it was like crazy. He was like doing like hip hop dances and all that. He wore a kimono with a do-rag. Shit was fly as fuck.
Whoa.
You know, that shit looked crazy back then. But it was at my expense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the real victim of Jetto.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I've never I've never heard of that.
Yeah, because he had his moment, because, you know, I think it was like a little too niche, but also I think just Japan wasn't ready for a black superstar.
How do you think it gets to a place where it is?
People like Jetto who try.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to have like a few people who take one for the team until like the world's ready.
Yeah.
I mean, as sad as that is, and that even brings me to another point of like where I was last night. I was eating dinner with DJ Vermin from Far East Movement.
Wow.
And you know Far East Movement from back in the days, right? So we're eating, and I see this dude walks past me while I'm sitting down, and I only see like the back of his head. I'm like, this guy reminds me of somebody, but it's like the back of his head, so I might be bugging, I might just be tweaking a little bit. So I leave it be, and there was like live music playing, shit like that, and then the singer, she was fucking amazing. I forgot her name. I'm gonna look it up later, but she was doing like R&B, some pop songs, and some rap covers, and she would like do the rap parts like flawlessly.
Whoa.
And then switch to the singing. She was hitting all the notes. And then I remember my favorite was when she was doing Big Papa.
Nice.
So she did like all the Biggie verses, the hook, and then, you know, that song samples, I think it was called Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. She would switch to the Isley Brothers after like the second verse.
That's crazy.
So I was like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm seeing right across the restaurant, and the dude who only saw like the back of his head, I see he's like fucking locked in at that stage.
Yeah.
And he's like vibing with this with the singer like crazy, and you know, I finally see his face. I'm like, yo, who is that? I've seen this dude before. Holy shit! And then it hit me. I was like, yo, that's fucking Jin. That's MC Jin. And shit. I'm like, oh my god, this dude is like Asian rap Jesus.
Okay. Nice.
Because like he was the first Asian American rapper to get signed, to get a major deal, you know. And his start was he was this dude from, I think he was like born and raised in Miami, and then he moved to New York right after high school, and of course he wanted to be a rapper. So
and he was Japanese, you said?
He was Chinese
gotcha.
American, and so he got on this 106 in Park on BT. So he got on that. There were like Freestyle Fridays or whatever. They were like, dudes would battle each other. This is like
a big show.
Early to mid 2000s, and he was the champion.
Oh, cool.
And of course he, like, people would diss him because he's like Asian or whatever, and he you know, he'd hit back with like some stereotypical self-deprecating like punchlines and shit, and the crowd would get a reaction. He's like, I forgot which line it was. I forgot how the punchline was. He's like, you're making fun of my shoes. Check your Timbs. They probably say made in China. You know, shit like that. You know,
that's hard.
Dumplings and egg rolls. Like you make puns with that and shit. And so. And I met him before when I first started like putting myself out there, when I was doing like open mics and shit. He had like a short film, and I was like an extra, a background extra.
Whoa.
And in the scene I'm in, I'm like standing right behind him. So, and I didn't think he was gonna remember me. You feel me? But
this was last night.
This was last night, and so like DJ Furman, he walks up to Jin. He's like, yo, there's this kid. You know, he recognizes you. Apparently, he was in some short film or whatever. And then they like call me over. I'm like, yo, what? You dead ass right now? And then, so I walk there, and immediately off rip, he's like, I remember you. Like, I remember you. You had a homie with you too. Like, I brought somebody with me during the shoot. Like, he brought out like details I even forgot.
What?
And all that shit. That shit made me really happy.
And you guys just chopped it up?
Yeah, we just like chopped it up. He was kind of drunk.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was hella humble, man.
That's so cool, bro. What the hell?
But I say this, and this is not a diss to him, but like, he was supposed to like, the world was just not ready for an Asian rapper at that time in 2004 or whatever. And because I think people were just still getting over Eminem. You know? They were like, white people rapping? Huh? And
we can't have anybody else.
Now it's gonna be the Asians. Come on. So they push, you know, Jin to the side. Jin, you know, he had his moment and everything, but now we got, you know, now it's hip hop is getting more open to other cultures, other races and all that. And I'm like, bet.
I'm trying to think who are like the really, really dope Asian rappers like really doing it right now.
Yeah, my homie Khan.
Yeah.
He's really blowing up right now.
Yeah.
Of course, there's like the more OGs like Dumbfounded. Of course, Year of the Ox.
You brought up Sage Yoda earlier.
Sage,
he's really doing his thing.
He's doing well for himself. Representing the Bay probably really hard too.
Ricefield.
Yeah, Ricefield too. Trapanese was my shit back then. Yeah. One thing that actually pisses me off though is like when, and this is like some shit, I don't really complain about it, but it's just mildly annoying, is like when, I guess like, to a lot of people, even to my fans, I feel like I'm the one probably Japanese artist, or one of the few Japanese artists like they listen to. So when they discover like another Japanese artist who might not even be remotely close to my style, but just the fact that we probably share like an identity, some aspect of our identity is like common, and they're just like, you should work with them.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah,
that is like fucking weird.
Imagine it, dude. You know what I fucking hate too? Like, that's so valid, and I totally hear you there.
Yeah,
I really hate the same thing when like people just take any woman that raps and they're like, oh, you should collab with like Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, you should collab with Lotto.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like what? Yeah. like I was watching the Doechii Tiny Desk concert, and I saw this comment was like, you and Rico Nasty would go crazy together. And I was like, you were literally just saying that because
that's
women.
Another just female rapper. Yeah, that shit is annoying. Or like when they try to pin the two female rappers against each other, I'm like, no, they can like do their own thing, coexist.
Top 5 female rappers.
Yeah, like we live in a world where we got Lotto and we got Little Sims, and these two are not similar at all. Like, it's fine. They don't need to beef with each other. They don't need to work with each other. They can operate in their own like world, and in like entirely different spheres of hip hop. Right? Yeah, they don't even gotta acknowledge each other. You feel me? Yeah, bro. In the same way that their male counterparts wouldn't have to acknowledge each other. Yeah. Like there's literally no like like we don't need to see like Little Sims and Ice Spice on a song together because they're both women. They're dope and they're doing their things individually, but like just because they're like both, you know what I mean? Like we would never do that with like men, where we're like, you know, like you're not expecting fucking Jack Harlow to work with JPEG Mafia. Yeah, that's just weird. Yeah, we'd never do that. We'd never be like, you know, like fucking we'd never be like, yeah, you know, like it'd be dope if like EBK, Young Jock, and Injury Reserve got on a song. Yeah, no, because they're both like men, you know, like that'd be the worst thing ever. What are like? It's interesting you brought up Jin and being like the first Japanese or the first Asian American artist signed to a major. That's really cool. Signed to a major. He was signed to I think DMX. Oh, Rough Riders. I think that's what he was signed. Okay, nice. You were on Warner Japan for a bit, right? Sadly, yeah.
What? I was very curious about that, because how different is, because obviously it's still like the major label system, but the major label counterpart system in another country is different than the major label counterpart system in America or Europe or whatever. They're like different in every country. What was your experience like being in the Japanese side of the music industry, and how do you feel like it differed from your experience being on the American side of the music industry when you were in New York and in LA? Do you think there's a lot of differences in the way they operate?
There was a lot of differences, and I say this a lot, where Japan has like probably the best PR team, you feel me, for like the whole country's image. Like, to outsiders, like, people think Tokyo or just like Japan in general is this like futuristic country, super innovative and all that, like tech heavy and all that, but society wise, socially is like decades behind.
What do you mean?
And even like just in a business sense, you feel me? I feel like, I mean, of course, like, because I've dealt with the U.S., the American music industry, so I can tell you, like, the U.S. is, like, way more innovative. Like, they're still a little behind with what's going on, like, with the indie and everything, what's going on in the actual scenes, you feel me? But they're tapped in, at least.
Yeah.
Japan, they still, like, operate like it's still, like, the 80s.
In what way? In like, a discovery sense? Or a data sense?
In just the discovery sense, because they're still, like, what probably, like, a lot of people in the US would probably be like, oh, you know, fuck these industry plans. Like, they still do artist development. They'll still, like, the Japanese industry will still pick people up from, like, open mics or whatever. If they fuck with you, they'll try to build you up. But then also, at the same time, they will, like, make these, like, deals that just makes it seem like, you know, they have the artist for life. And I know there's American artists that got that too. Yeah. But it's just more common in, like, in Japan.
Yeah, I feel like
they're like, you're their property. Yeah. Basically.
Artist dev is not helpful if artist dev is just like a buzzword to, like, throw a perp deal at somebody.
Yeah, like, literally the bare minimum is like a 360 deal, basically.
That's it's like just like the norm.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. I can't, like, speak too much on the details on my deal, but my shit was more lean, like, more easygoing. But because of how easygoing it was, like, they probably didn't feel the need to, like, put artist development, no, like, guidance, no resources. It was literally I signed the contract, and it was just like, okay.
Good shit.
Yeah, welcome.
Do you feel like there was, like, a lack of resources there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my shit had zero marketing. Yeah. When I did drop an album or whatever, that shit, that shit did not, that was traumatizing, man.
Yeah, I bet, man. I think a lot of people get chewed up and spit out pretty fast in the major label system.
And it was so weird because, like, I had this, like, one of my producer homies. He's from Australia, and he was visiting Japan at the time, and he would go to my house, like, almost every day, and we just, like, cook up, and to the point we had, like, 5 decent songs. Well, I shouldn't say decent, like, good enough to be on the album. I just would need to fix a few things, take a few sounds out, you know, replace them with some other shit, mix them and all that. And when it came down to where I was like, okay, this is probably the final track list for the album, you know, let my A&R know, like, this is what we got, this is who I've been working with, all that. When it came down to that, then I told my producer homie, like, yo, whatever you want from the label, you know, just ask it, and all that. And they weren't willing to negotiate, and, like, at all. Negotiate with him at all. They were expecting me to, like, pay out of pocket and basically buy him out, so he wouldn't even get, like
points on the record,
or I don't even think, like, credit.
That no credit's wild.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not gonna fuck over my homie who's also just super connected. You feel me? Because he's making fucking moves himself. He's pretty big in the scene that I come from, and you don't want to capitalize off of his, you know, name. Like, that shit was really blowing mine. So
it's just like the mindset's inherently exploitative. Like, there's no, like,
I had to tell him about TikTok. You know how important TikTok marketing is, and I'm like,
the label?
Oh,
that's nuts.
Yeah, I'm like, you're signing artists off TikTok, but you're not, like, we're not putting together a TikTok campaign for, like, me. Like, what the fuck? Or I had to tell him, like, about Content ID, because, you know, WMG strikes, I'm pretty sure every YouTuber has to go through it and shit. And I was telling him, like, yo, you gotta take that Content ID shit off mine, you know, because I got people who might want to react to my shit or just want to use it for an intro and outro for my music and for their videos.
It's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's exposure. I don't need like a cent from these creators. Them using my music, that's the currency for me. That's enough. Like that shows that they fuck with me.
It's worth a lot more than
it's worth a lot more because that's
gonna
gonna subject like their audience to my music and all that. So I didn't care, and they weren't just hearing me out, yo.
Like not even a conversation.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, that's so wild. I will say though, I feel like that probably isn't just like indicative of the major label system in Japan. I think that's probably just indicative of the major label system in general.
Yeah, no, it made me really miss just being underground, being indie. Yeah. So I remember not right after, but after that album dropped, I went to Hungary to promote it, and that was not through like the label. That was them hitting me up because they fucking with me. I performed at it's called Sziget. It's a huge music festival in Hungary, and I had the perfect time slot because like people were actually showing up for my set. Yeah. And right after me, people started dipping because
that's the best,
Billie Eilish was performing after me.
Oh, that's the best.
I was like, hell yeah,
let's go.
Watch me and then watch Billie. So. So yeah, I do that. That was probably the biggest like promo run I did. They didn't even give me like a fucking release party. They didn't even put together like shows and mini tour around Japan. None of that shit. It was just like, oh, congratulations, you have a release under us. Cool. Good luck.
Raps, yeah.
Good luck. Let's
hope it does well.
Let's hope let's hope it does well.
That's crazy.
Let's hope it goes like quadruple styrofoam.
It's so wild, bro.
So yeah, and then I went to LA so I think I dropped it last year, like July, but I went to LA like November. Okay, so a few months had passed, right? And I was talking with my homie, and we were just like cooking up a little bit, just chilling, catching up, and then we had this like damn near hour-long talk about just like music careers and shit like that. Just because I felt directionless, I was depressed as shit, man, and I was just like, yo, this label is like really fucking me up, man. I can't. Yeah. When I had that Connor Price collab, that was because of me, not the label. I was like, they weren't even letting me capitalize off that, like drop another single or whatever, because
that's cool.
Yeah, so they were trying to get points from that collab. I was like, nuts. I was like, yo, technically, I wasn't signed to y'all when that song happened. When that song dropped, like, no, fuck you. Yeah, nah, that's mine. And yeah, I was just like, yo, I feel like this label is stopping me from, being who I truly am. They're not even fucking helping me. They're taking this much percent off of my fucking royalties. They're not even doing anything. Yeah. Or whatever. And then I think I get mad, and I'm like texting my A&R, because my A&R he knew me before. Of course, I got signed like years before, because he found me through my original mixtape, like my first mixtape, Akuma. So he was fucking with me before. But like I was telling him, like, yo, I'm gonna try to violate my contract. I'm gonna drop like these songs I just made through DistroKid, and y'all ain't gonna stop me, bro. And then he was actually like, because he fucking hated Warner too. Yeah. And he was just like, go ahead.
He's like a byproduct of the system.
Yeah, he was like egging me on about that. But then like right after, he was just like, don't do it. I'll try to like finesse a way to get you out your contract. But for now, just operate as an indie artist, but wear the Warner Japan artist thing with pride or whatever. Use it to your advantage. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, if anything, it fucked up like people's perception of me. I feel like in Japan, because I think, even though I never changed, like, I feel like I didn't change how I acted. Yeah. I think people were like not wanting to book me for shit. Interesting. I wonder, maybe because you've lost allure once you're signed to a major. Like, there's a level of like, probably that, or they just didn't want to deal. Like, if they wanted me for their event, it's just too much. Yeah, they think they had to deal with the politics of like Warner, and I was just like, no, bro. Like, I'll tell you. Let me take the heat for that. Yeah, but I will tell you, as like somebody who throws shows, like, there is like, it's certainly crossed my mind. Like, it's for me, it's generally less a label thing and more a booking agency thing. Yeah. But like, if an artist has like a massive agent who like, I know they're gonna take like 4 months to like work out a deal with me, I'm probably less likely to book that artist if I can find a comparable one that I think is dope too, that'll have similar pull. But yeah, my thing was like, you're not even gonna try. You're not even gonna like ask me like what the process is gonna be for me to book me, because it's literally just, you're not gonna have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, that's not a label thing.
Yeah, and then what fucked me up worse was also my A&R got fired.
Oh, dude, I have homies that's happened to.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
So I literally had no direct contact to Warner.
That's the fucking worst, dude.
Yeah.
I have a friend who was on a JV of a major, and that JV got closed, and then they were just absorbed by the major, and like they just like literally like weren't really on a label, but they were like signed.
They were in just some.
They were just like floating, like they were just absorbed by the major system.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's the fucking worst. That might be worse than even getting shelved.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
Sucks.
I think the tides are changing, though. I think it's very, very clear to me right now that I think the majors are losing their means of control. Like they are no longer able to just dominate distribution because of things like DistroKid. They're no longer able to dominate marketing because of things like TikTok and like social media and being able to market your music yourself. Their only like lever of control that they're able to like monetize and monopolize right now is just capital. Yeah, like they just have money. That's just the reality of it. And if they keep hitting at a 1% success rate, they're probably not going to have a sustainable business model for much longer.
Yeah, and that's the reason why artists still sign to this day is just capital. It's just to have the funds. Which
is like quite literally, in my opinion, what you should view a label as.
That's what I was doing it for. Yeah. You know, because I'm like, yo, my whole thing is like, I want to have like a proper budget for some of the ideas that I have. Yeah. You feel me? I want to, you know, maybe get another producer, you feel me, someone who has like clout, who has like a fee and everything, and have them finesse my track, whatever. But they weren't even like, I could talk for like hours about this shit.
I feel it, bro. I feel
that
it.
Shit was pissing me off, yo.
Moving here and becoming independent, how big and how refreshing was it to begin to like release music independently again?
That was it took some adjustments really, because like dude, I was traumatized. I didn't realize I was traumatized till like I was like, holy shit.
Dude. I mean, I can't tell you how many homies I have who like are literally in the same boat. Yeah. They're just straight up traumatized from it.
Because one thing is, when I thought when I moved here, as soon as I moved here, you know, get what I need, take care of what I need to do, settle in. I thought I was just gonna be up and running. Yeah. You know, I didn't realize there was gonna be an adjustment period, because I've made music in LA. Yeah. Like, I have a lot of songs that either are unreleased or released that I have made here. So. But it was a whole other thing to like actually like settle in, you know, into my new place, and after being in Japan however many years, you know, living the Japan life and getting readjusted to the States and all that. And I think on top of that, with the shit coming from Warner and getting out of that contract, I realized like, yo, I'm low-key fucked up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's like trauma, bro.
Just over a year of like nothing, and I'm back to just being on my own again. Yeah. You know.
But it's also exciting. I think I do think there's like, with every recalibration and restart and you know, like new outlook on things, I think things can become way more exciting if you're resourceful enough to figure out what the next step is, which obviously you are, because you did it the first time. You know?
And I actually did not know what the next step was. Like I had these songs ready or whatever, but then I just wasn't liking making music anymore, because for so long it was like an obligation. Like I had to make these songs, I had to make a whole album with my money or whatever, and even when we met, around the time we met, I was even contemplating on like just quitting music in general. Bro. Instead, I took a break. Yeah. Like during the summer, I was just like chilling.
What was that time like?
That was like, I just wanted to feel what it was like to create shit with no pressure. So I told myself like I was taking a break, and all that meant was, you know, I'm not cooking up every day. You feel me? Sometimes I'm just chilling at home. You know, I'm hiking or whatever, but also I'm creating shit with.
You hike a lot?
I hike a lot.
We gotta hike, bro.
Yeah, let's hike together.
We gotta hike.
Yeah, yes, sir.
My girlfriend, just for my birthday a couple weeks ago, she got me this. I'm so geeked on it. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know what you're saying. No, she got me this book though, and it's just a gigantic guide to because I hike a ton. But she got me this gigantic guide, just like all these hikes in Los Angeles, and there's like 119 in there. And my goal is by the end of 2025 to do all of them. So we should definitely hike.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. I only do the same too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, where do you go?
Runyon.
Okay, nice.
Hell yeah. And I'm not gonna mention the other one because that's my I'm gatekeeping it.
Beautiful, yeah. Dude, you gotta start checking out like Ventura, the Thousand Oaks, like Pasadena, Altadena, some amazing spots.
I'm pretty sure, man. Yeah, but Runyon.
We'll go.
Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, what were you saying?
But yeah, but yeah, I was like, I was like creating shit without the intention of dropping it.
Gotcha.
You know,
which is such
just
a
making
different
these
feeling.
songs for myself.
Yeah.
And that was like really helping, because then I started to see like more clarity of like, okay, maybe musically I start going this direction.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be cool. You know, a lot of music was also being dropped, you know, in the summertime. So I think one thing that really stuck to me was like Gene Dawson's new album.
Yeah, bro.
Like Glimmer of God. That shit.
God, you and me both.
Yeah.
Everybody I know is shitting on it. I love it.
Yeah, and even Dominic Fix, I think it was like 14 minutes. Like
the short one, the EP.
Like, yeah, the little EP of him like running.
Dude, do you know the story behind that EP?
No.
Someone recently told me this, and I thought it was so interesting. Mm-hmm. Dominic Fike made that because he was so fed up with the reality that is releasing music into the major label system. Because you make something and then you can't drop it for 9 fucking months.
Yeah.
And by the time you drop it, you don't even like it anymore.
Yeah.
So he made that independently just to drop, and he made the album like 3 days before he dropped it.
That is...
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I butchered that story, but somebody told me that recently, and I thought it was fascinating.
That makes a lot of sense, because I remember when he was doing promo for the Sunburn album.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't seem, because I feel like me and him would be like best friends, because
you guys
we're both like super introverted guys and shit like that. Because you know, like you said, we have to like turn in the music, and then it drops like 6 months later.
Yeah.
You know, usually if you want the proper rollout. And yeah, and once it drops, you got to pretend like that shit's new, like you just didn't evolve during those 6 months. Yeah that shit, that's a pain.
That pretend game is so fucking weird.
Because even with Sunburn, like he didn't seem that excited to be talking about his songs. He was just like, I made these over the last few years, you know, some of them are pretty old. I was like, I feel you.
I feel you,
I feel you, man. Like when I drop Kami, there's literally a song, it's called Origami. So Kami dropped 2023. The Origami song, that's like track 2 or whatever. I fucking hate Kami. But like I think Origami's like track 2. So I made the original demo back in 2020.
Damn,
and then
bro.
I made the actual song in 2021, and we just like remixed it. We fixed the mix. We added like a mini verse. Or whatever. Yeah, we just fixed the mix or whatever, but that's literally just a 2021 song. That's from a 2020 demo that dropped in 2023.
That's so crazy, bro. That's such like it's so absent from the creative process. Like they're just so out of touch with what it means to be an artist.
And I didn't even want to add that song. I'm not gonna say which ones, because I'm pretty sure my fans like, you know, some of these songs I would list out right now. But there's some songs I just made just to please the label, you know, because originally I wanted 7 tracks on it. So it's your guess to find out which ones were just added. You know, Origami's one of them. So you got 2 songs.
Got 2 more.
You got 2 songs to guess. Like,
drop a comment.
There's one with the very obvious like title. That I just made this just to, you know, add some extra minutes to the album. But
it's the very end of That's funny. How different was that feeling? Like when you were making music during this little break period, and like when you would finish a song that you were really just hyper fixated on, like making it for you. How different was that feeling versus like when you made a song to submit?
It was. It just felt like I just had no pressure at all. Like, because I mean, of course, I pressure myself really hard, especially when I feel like, this song could be something, you know. But it felt cool, even though I, you know, get messages from my fans like, when's the next drop? It's just like I'm making it at my own pace. Like I don't have any deadlines or anything, you know. And it felt cool, and I just wanted somehow, when I get back to releasing again next month, but but once I get back into that groove again, that I can keep that mindset of like, I'm still making this shit for me, you know. I got no label to like appeal to or like hope for, you know. Just I don't need to answer to anybody anymore. I
think when you're doing that, you're most in touch with the like I think ironically when you're doing it yourself, you are most in touch with what people want from you.
Yeah.
Because what they want from you is you.
Yeah.
And I think strangely, very often the music industry and the major label system, and just like I keep saying the major label system, but like that's just like a pseudonym for like different entities within the music industry that like are trying to change what the artist wants to do. I think those entities often are really, really keen to bringing you away from the truest version of yourself. Like they want to add things, they want to subtract
It's so
things.
ironic because they sign you because of like who you are right now, and they don't even try to like make you an evolved version of yourself. They're just like, we like what you're doing, but be less of that.
Yeah. We're going to sign you because of what you're doing, but we don't like what you're doing, but we want you to keep doing it, but we don't want you to keep doing it.
And then when you like give in to their demands, they're just going to be like, oh, you changed, man. You're not the same. Like, we liked you for this thing. Now you're not that. Now you're the opposite. Now you're everything what we told you to be.
Yeah.
That's lame, bro.
It's fucking nuts.
Kill yourself.
But when it's just you, man, you're just you. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Moving back, like I guess to talk a bit more about like how it's been these past 6 months and like been moving into this cool chapter of your career where it's like you're in LA now, you're independent. It seems like there's a lot of big changes right now. Have those things been like more overwhelming or more stressful, or like when you're waking up in the morning, or is it feeling different to make music like when you're in this kind of new period of your artistic career? Is it feeling different, and like if so, how?
Oh, it's still feeling different. I still feel like pressure every day, you feel me? But at least I know it's like pressure from Kazuo, just to finish that fucking track, mix this song, finish this video. At least it's things I actually want to do. I'm making whatever I want to make. Of course, like there are times where I gotta play the game a little bit. But I could choose not to. That doesn't. I don't have to. I think what happened was when you reach a certain level into like your career, your journey, or whatever, when you have to actually start giving a fuck about like social media and shit. It's no longer just shit posting your music. Now you got to be a little more calculated. They start talking about analytics and shit like that. And engagement, and I'm like, like hearing all this shit like actually does not make me want to post anymore. I remember I missed the times where we were in lockdown and I just like would post at a random time and then turn off the app, I take a walk and come back, 30K views, holy shit,
that's sick.
Hell yeah, fire, satisfied. Versus like I put together a video and then I just watch it grow to 30K views.
Whatever.
Like same results, just different feeling.
It's strange, bro. Like I think that concept makes me question like, damn, like and I want every artist to make a living off their music. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
But it's so strange that this is an industry where like your goal financially is not to make your own money, it's to like get money from somebody else. Which like 95% of artists are doing. Like the artists that are making the most money most of the time, like I'd say like a larger percentage of them are than aren't. They aren't making, like, they aren't generating their own income per se. Like they're just getting paid from a label. Which is like a really strange thing, because when like your financial, like, I guess source is not directly coming from something you're generating, there's just gatekeepers. Like there's things that like you will never be able to do. So it's like I think in the modern music industry, one of the biggest goals of any artist, I feel like financially, should be like find a way to make your money with no involvement of anybody else but you. It's like just independently make it.
That's just fucking difficult, man, because the major label system wants to gatekeep. I feel like somehow the CEO of Experian has something to do with this, and I think we should kill him.
Maybe there's another young Italian music journalist that needs to put an end to the major label system,
but preferably with the name Mario.
Preferably. Not to be confused with Mario Sosa.
But it could be Mario Sosa.
Maybe.
It should be.
I don't know. I know that guy.
Mario Cam.
I want to ask you about your production, because I know you do most of it, right? Which is very interesting to me. And you keep talking about mixing too. Like I didn't know you mixed your own stuff. You do that as well?
Yeah, sadly.
Oh, there you go.
No. I prefer it. Because I've had like people mix my vocals, and I'm just like, I can't promote this.
Yeah.
This is just not me.
Yeah.
You massacred my boy.
When did that process kind of begin to take shape when you learned production? Where did you teach yourself? And was it out of, I talked to a lot of producers, and this is always an interesting question to me. Like, was it out of necessity or want to doing it?
Necessity.
Like,
now
you
it's
didn't
at
want.
Now it's at want.
Okay.
But it was out of necessity. You know, nobody wanted to fuck with me like that. And yeah. So
you gotta do it yourself.
I had to do everything myself. You know.
Yeah.
Had a crack copy of Logic Pro. I don't anymore. I paid for it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Logic Pro.
Yeah.
You know, made beats on FL Studio now. Logic Pro.
Let's go.
Apple, wink, wink. But, yeah, so I just, you know, would go through YouTube tutorials, learn what the fuck a compressor is, what, you know, EQing and all that. And, you know, learn a little bit of music theory then and there, just in case, like, I wanted to start doing fucking melodies and shit. And yeah, that's where I just got better at it and just became super self-reliant. Same with like production and everything.
Yeah,
because I think for me, I was always like meant to be a producer, because I hated the process, and I was dealing with this in Japan too when I was living out there. Was that when I would do sessions with rappers, they'll send me like a Google Drive link, like, here's what the homie sent me, pick a beat. I was like, oh, I thought we was like cooking up from scratch. You feel me?
These are for anybody.
Yeah. Literally, these are like so produced so that it's catered to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it has like little to no identity. So, and my whole thing is, I will only cook up if I hear the song in my head. I don't want to be given like a beat and then trying to create from that. So that's why I also just like self-produce. Like, the producers I knew at the time when I started wasn't making anything that was like my vision. Yeah. And if there was anything remotely close, of course, like a type beat or whatever, of course that's bread. Yeah. You know, and of course, like, these producers should get paid 100%. But you know, they have these deals where I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna profit off of this. Yeah. You know? So it was either, you know, work extra shifts so you can afford the beat, or just learn how to make it yourself. You know, it took more time, but yeah, now I'm there. And when I was making Akuma, I was thinking to myself, like, I was trying to prove to myself more so, and that's what I do with every project, is like prove to myself that I can do this. Like, one thing is like to have like a self-produced project and all that. And when I did that, you know, after just being on, like, just messing with my like machine drum pad and everything, I was like, okay, I did this. It's released and everything. People fuck with it. I'm still involved with like the production of my music, but now I can get like my producer homies to like help me out. Yeah. And so that's what I started to do. And so now, instead of it 100% like being me, now it's like maybe 70%. Yeah. Maybe sometimes it's 30%.
Which is beautiful. Yeah.
Which is it's still me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't. There's still the Kazuo isms, you know, but it's just a little different.
And even like knowing a ton about production, but not even doing your production is so valuable, because you can just be in the room and you know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so crazy, like, how many rappers I know who have like a following don't even know what a kick is. Yeah. Kick, a snare, you know, don't know how to count bars and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. Not even in like a bad way per se, but just like, that's like impressive. It really gets to that point.
They sit in the studio and I'm like thinking to myself, like, you don't want to be involved with the beat making process? Yeah. Don't you ever hear like music in your head or songs you want to make in the future, but you don't have the beat for it, so you don't ever think to yourself like, yo, I want to make this. Yeah. That's like crazy to me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Plus, it's like, I think the more you can give input to there, just the more that these beats are going to be catered to your sound. Exactly. Like, the more you're going to have it, like the closer it'll be to what you're hearing in your head. And that should always be the goal, I think. Yeah. It's like, how close can you get to the thing that you're hearing in your head?
But some people are just cool with it. Some people are just fine with, you know, being the lyricist, being the writer, and the performer. They're more so like adapt to whatever vibe is like given to them. But also sometimes they just got
a really good producer,
a really good producer that they just work with one-on-one, and they just know and the producer knows what the artist likes and shit and caters to that. Yeah, you know, that's cool too. You know, I wish I was able to just
find someone. Yeah,
but I'm also just a crazy control freak.
Yeah. No, I feel it, dude. I feel it. Were there any like eras of music or like things you were listening to when you were learning to produce that you remember really influenced the way you look at it?
It's crazy because when I was like making the Akuma project, and that shit, my whole approach to that was I wanted that project to sound like it was a rejected demo tape from the 90s. Like, you discovered this, like, I guess it was like buried in dirt or whatever, and you found this like cassette tape, and I wanted it to sound like that. But in reality, what I was listening to was like different at the time. At that time I was like listening to like Tame Impala shit, fucking Bleachers, Jack Antonoff, like
love Bleachers,
1975 and all that shit. So, but this project was just a fucking underground rap, like thing,
like grimy New York hip hop.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit,
like mixed to shit on purpose and all that. And I knew like eventually I was gonna go into the direction where my music gets a little more melodic, gets more rock influence. You feel me? Because that was also around the time I found out who Dominic Fike was. Like, my homie put me on to Aries as well. Like that era of, like, you know, what's it called, anti-pop.
Yeah.
And
like bedroom pop or whatever.
Bedroom pop, you know, Glaive.
Hyper pop.
So I knew I was gonna go there, but I wasn't at the skill level yet. So I'm like, let me stick to what I know. What I'm really good at right now is like hip hop and some weird Tyler the Creator beats and shit like that. And
isn't that a weird concept when you like you know what you want to make in your brain, but like you don't have the skills to get there yet?
And my whole thing was I didn't have a guitar, and I could not play for shit at the time. So, and I knew a few homies, but they weren't like that reliable to like play guitar, and I would never bring people to my house. So when I got to that point where I got a homie where I know I could trust him with the melodies and shit, that's when I started like diving into it. I was like, okay, now we start the Dominic Fike-ification of Kazuo. The Gene Dossification or whatever.
The Gene Dossification.
The Kevin Abstractification.
No, that's super sick though, dude. I think one moment I always point to in my parallel is like Premiere Pro with like filmmaking and like editing. But like I remember the moment when I could like picture something in my brain and I knew the tangible steps to get there to create that thing in the software. Like, to me, that's the moment when like you're controlling the software and the software's not controlling you. That feels like a very pivotal moment where everything begins to look different.
I think like the producer equivalent is like just knowing where that snare comes from.
Or like, oh, that's a splice sample. Or
like you hear a synth, you're like, I can recreate that on Serum right now. Especially on the album, I feel like for you, like there's so many parts that like I guess I never actually asked you this, but like so you just mentioned that you do play guitar, right? Are you tracking a lot of live instruments, a lot of this stuff? Because a lot of the bass lines sound very live to me as well. Most if not all the bass lines you hear, if it sounds live, it's because it is.
Are you playing those, or
I'm playing only a little bit because I'm also just very mid at guitar. Like, I can do enough to survive, but the shit I want on my own music is like levels above what I can do.
Gotcha.
So of course I got people to help me out with that. And
are the drums ever live?
The drums are sometimes live.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
There's sometimes live where we just recreate that vibe, or we just like sample a breakbeat, because breakbeats are my shit. But I think one of the Kazuo-isms is the fact that it can be it's like digital and analog at the same time, and live.
Very much so.
Because I always try to create that analog vibe, even though almost everything's like done in my living room.
That's actually very well said. I actually feel like that's exactly what Kazuo music is to me. It's like this very hyper specific mix of like some things that like sound live, but like they also have a lot of like very poignant like digitalisms to them.
That's because when I started, I did everything digitally. Everything was MIDI, but now I'm like, I don't need to. I have a sax player. Let me get a guy to play sax on my shit.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. You know, let me try to get the real thing as as possible. And if I want it to sound digital, I would just do it myself.
Would you ever play live with the band?
Oh yeah, I did. Like my first show in LA. Well, not technically it's my second show, but like, you know, my first show since moving here. Like back in June, I debuted with my live band.
Oh, sick, bro! Do you have any plans for other shows?
Oh, of course. We're talking with a few people, but we're thinking, you know, we should definitely do another LA show
with the band.
With the band, of course.
Sick.
You know, everybody's like based in LA, so
yeah. How'd you meet all them?
Kelly, should I bring up? We met one at a bar. Me and Kelly were looking at this one guy. We were like, yo, we like your vibe. No. Nah.
Yo, we fuck with you.
Fuck with your vibe. You know, look well hung. We. But that dude we're talking about, he's our guitarist.
Nice.
He's just dope. He's also helping me with like videos.
Sick.
As well. Like he even threw in a solo for my next track that I'm dropping.
Nice.
And all that. But yeah, it was literally like my first few weeks here, I was just meeting people like left and right. Like I met my bassist first, like at a pop-up event in Chinatown, and then the drummer was through the guitarist. Like they went to school together and everything. So and then I brought them together.
And like all just falls into place.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, I want to see you live. That's so cool. You put the band.
Yeah, I think I invited you, Mario, but I think you were like in the middle of like tour or something. Yeah, that's cool, man.
During Monet's tour.
Yeah, you're just not getting on the guest list. I fuck with you, bro.
That's like all good, little bro. Like it's totally cool and shit.
It's all good, bro.
Like you're like touring and shit. Like you're better than.
We'll plan some. We'll plan some like drugs in your pocket and have security go through it.
Yeah, bro. Like
it's all good. You can watch clips of it. On
Luigi type
stories.
shit, you know.
Yeah.
Too many Luigi drops, man. I gotta chill, dude. The feds are gonna come get me.
Yeah, bro. Free Luigi.
Free Luigi,
free
bro.
Luigi.
Outside of like that process, do you think your process is like more collaborative than it's been in the past now? Because I know you said you started like with producing everything and mixing everything and literally doing it all, but like now that you're here and you have a band and all that stuff, has that like contributed to your process at all, making it more collaborative?
Absolutely. I think more on the production side it's more collaborative, to the point sometimes I gotta rely on them, which I hate. That's also why I do my own videos, like learning Premiere and all that shit. I had to learn Premiere because like one time like a video guy was super late and that like threw me off. Like I was about to crash out and all that, and so I just like try to get to his level in like one weekend.
And you're like, what if I just didn't sleep for 4 weeks?
Yeah,
like, could I get that good?
But nah, it's definitely a good skill to have. Like getting into music, like unlock these other talents that I have and these new skills and talents and shit. But yeah, it's more collaborative compared to me like in 2020. I'm trying to get better with like features, like collaborative like features and shit, because one thing I really don't like is like sending it open. It feels very like they're not like forced. Even though I'm doing that with Haji Gaviota right now.
Oh, you had a track with Haji?
Yeah, I sent him some shit, and
that's so fire.
By the way, Gut Punch is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like
bro.
the album he just dropped, and it's with that vibe with a little more.
Shout out Haji. I love Haji so much.
We were supposed to link back in New York. I'm so sorry, Haji.
That fool is like stupid talented. I also just love the way he looks at the world.
Yeah. And it's been long overdue. I've known that guy for almost like 5 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some New York shit.
Some New York shit. We both like had a show in Queens somewhere.
Nice.
I forgot.
He's from up there in the north.
Yeah, he's
Queens,
from Queens. I think he's from like Astoria or whatever.
Gotcha.
Where I used to stay at there a lot too. And
What part of New York did you grow up in?
Brooklyn.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. My family's out from Brooklyn too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I stayed in Washington Heights for a little bit too, in Manhattan.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
but I feel like the open thing can get weird, where it's like you're just kind of like trying to like it's almost like you're like I feel like you're like forcing like a square peg into a round hole.
And because I hate when people do that. Not hate is a strong word, but it's tough when they send that to me. I'm just like in my head, I'm like, yo, I wouldn't put that kick there.
Yeah,
you know,
and like if I was in the room, I would have told you that.
Yeah, so like, with the thing I sent Haji, I don't know if I texted this to him, but I'm like, yo, I can make adjustments. Like if you request, like, you know, if you want to know drums here, if you want to change the bass line or whatever, I won't be offended, you know. So it's like catered towards you.
That's sick.
And shit. And that's like
how it should be.
Yeah, because when I'm cooking up, you know, with people, but with the intention of it being just solely my song. Yeah. So now I'm starting to be like, okay, this vibe also reminds me of this artist right here. Let me shoot my shot and see if, you know, they're a fit. So yeah, I'm starting to do that. And plus, because a lot of times I can't even finish a lot of songs. Because like I'm like 2 verses, that's a commitment. Yeah. And I only have 1 verse.
2 languages.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, this extra verse, why don't I give it to somebody? Maybe change it up a little bit, just so it's more catered toward what they're comfortable with. Yeah. And all that.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Yeah.
What I did want to ask you about like the 2 language thing. How does that even like? like, because that artist to do that like, that process is so, like, it breaks my brain a lot. Because it, like, do you write in English or Japanese, and then how do you transition them into each other?
It's just free form, man. Because I grew up, like, that's how I was talking growing up, because I grew up with a lot of other, like, mixed kids, like, who had, like, the same household as me.
It's like all my grandparents speak Spanglish. Like,
literally, it's like that. So, you know, we're equally as bad as English as we are with Japanese. You feel me? And growing up, I looked at all of that as, like, one language. Not until I was, like, 8 years old till I realized, like, these are two separate languages. You know, so. Yeah, it's just free form. I don't think too much about even grammar.
Yeah, because I suppose there are words that are Japanese and words that are English that just happen to rhyme with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I'll do a cheat code where I'll say an English word with a Japanese accent just to make it rhyme better.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So like, it'll literally all just be freeform though? Like,
yeah, it's like freeform.
Like,
yeah, like, I don't care if you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was funny. So, like, that song with Seiji, the One It All track that he dropped on his EP, he thought one of the English parts was me speaking Japanese. It was like throwing him off, because he was asking for the lyrics, and I sent it to him. He's like, "Wait, that's what you said?"
I love when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's funny. All right, Kazuo, last thing I think I wanted to ask you.
Thought daughter.
If you had, okay, cool. Thanks so much for coming on. Music Matters. No gay son?
No.
Give me a gay thought son.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X say shit.
Kevin Abstract. Let me get, like, just them.
Roll it up in a joint and smoke it.
Yeah.
That's what I want right there.
Yeah, the blunt got to be a certain shape.
Yep. Kazuo, if you had this guy feel crazy asking this question after we just did this. If you had one message you think you could translate through your music, like one thing that you hope that your listeners would get from it, that main intention, what do you think it would be?
If my dad ever takes credit for my success, beat his ass.
Tight shit. That's hard.
Like, this is a request. Like, if he just got, like, Luigi'd, you know, I wouldn't be mad about it. Probably my sister would, but so what? She'll grow up.
There are like I feel like that's happened a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, if I remember right, I think, like, Juice WRLD's dad, like, just came out of the woodworks when he got famous. Yeah. And bro was like, yo, like, I was trying to connect with you the whole time, like.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nah.
That's beautiful.
I wait for that to happen. I want to create, like, I want to make my own cleaning out my closet, but dedicated to him.
Let's go. Fuck yeah. That song's crazy. Yeah. That's an insane song. Kazuo, thank you very much, brother. I love your perspective on the world.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm very grateful we got to do this eventually.
Even though I didn't answer most of your questions honestly and truthfully.
That's how it should
I lied like 70% of the time.
It's okay.
You know,
it's okay.
As long as it was, like, very entertaining. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. What about you, gay son, thought daughter?
Give me, like, a gay thought, non-binary child. That's
a good compromise.
Yeah, we're going, like, full inclusion.
Yeah. You know, but, like, also just an abstinent, what's the word? Celibate thought. Non-binary child. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be
cool. Celibate.
Yeah, celibate. You know,
underrated word.
Virgin thought child.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me two.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Make a little army. Yeah,
twins with an age gap.
Yeah. Tight shit. Kazuo, thank you, brother.
All right, yeah. Appreciate you.
Music matters.
It does.